I'm gonna call upper. And can I get an umbrella, please?
Nope, point over. Top of it. Woo!
All right, welcome back, everybody. Darren Christian Berry, there's our women's pro leaderboard. What are we looking at?
It's a pretty big spread from first to fifth, but as we've seen in the past, these things aren't over until we've shot all 5 or 6 arrows. Kaylee Johnston, 12 up for the weekend, which is a phenomenal score. Emily McCarthy, 408. She's shooting great. Erin McGlattery coming off a win last weekend at an IBO. Sharon Wallace is always she always has a chance of winning these things. Caitlin Bordwell made the cut there with a 393, so they're going to shoot 5 or 6 arrows and see who's going to win this thing.
All right, let's get to the action. We're going to go to Nathan Brooks to bring out our archers.
All right, let's get started things this afternoon. All right, in your first round of shooting this afternoon, we got the women's pro class. And in 5th place, from Tully, New York, shooting for Hoyt, Caitlin Bordwell. And in 4th place, all the way from Marsden, Saskatchewan, Canada. Let's try that again. How about in 4th place, from Townville, South Carolina, shooting for PSE, Sharon Wallace. All right, now we'll do this again. And in 3rd place from Marsden, Saskatchewan, that's in Canada, for those of you that don't know, Miss Erin McGlattery, shooting for Hoyt. And in 2nd place from Wazeeka, Wisconsin, shooting for Mathews, Emily McCarthy. And your number 1 qualifier from Dublin, Georgia, shooting for Mathews, Kaylee Johnston.
All right, Darren, so for the uninitiated, let's talk about this class. First off, we call this unknown.
Mm-hmm. The women they've had a judging period. The other classes as well, they get a 10-minute period to look at the targets that they're going to shoot. They have a little card that they write some numbers down, and they're identifying each target, and they're guessing the distance. They're figuring out with detail, whatever method that they use, how far these targets are. Then they're going to set their sight, shoot 1 arrow per target. If we have anyone within 10 points of the leader after 5, we will shoot a 6th and final arrow to decide who gets 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th.
That's kind of a throwback to the days of bow hunting, where we didn't have rangefinders,
Mm-hmm.
and so you had to judge that distance to the animal, and that's kind of what they're imitating here. And folks, that is a skill.
It is. You're going to see these little rings. Of course, Nathan showed you a minute ago how small these rings are. They're about the size of a 50-cent piece, and these targets are going to be up to a max distance of about 50 yards, which is half of a football field. So imagine shooting at a 50-cent piece that you really can't see at the distance of half of a football field. So, and they will hit these rings. So we're in for a good show tonight.
There's a good look at Katie Bordwell from New York. Should look like a 10 there for her on that wolf.
There's a good look at Sharon. She holds so steady, shoots so good. She's an upper 12 shooter, so I'm assuming that's her arrow we're looking at right there, and that's the longest target out there, I believe. There's Erin right there. Good look over her shoulder on that turkey.
We're going to get our scores here. First up is going to be Kaylee Johnston, who just crushed it this weekend. She said she did not leave the 8 ring today, or 10 ring, excuse me.
That's so good for her.
And look at that. Oh, she did call upper, however.
Yeah,
so that's a 10.
I've got a big TV blocking my view, so I won't be able to tell when the archers are shooting at uppers or not. So we may get some things wrong here.
They have an orange cone that they put out front, and I can just see the top of it.
Good look,
Emily. Next.
Emily's got such a good strong shot. I brag on her every time, but she's aiming and shooting so well.
Emily won this event last year in some crazy wind. Everybody was crumbling and falling apart, and she shot 4 5s and 4 10s and a 12 to take the victory.
And for Erin.
Good 10 there for Aaron. I think it was a 10 for Kaylee there at the front. I'm going to try to do some math here and keep up. So it puts her to 422. Aaron will go to a 418. No, Emily will go to a 4. See, I've got it wrong already, PJ.
Aaron's a 410. Now this target, you can see that, Darren. They went down a hill. From the shooter's perspective, they don't know how far over the crest of that hill that target is.
They've hidden the feet, so it's not an easy target. And that was Sharon on that long deer with a 10. That's a great arrow there.
That is a long one.
I don't think anyone hit any rings. I think everyone stayed in the 10 ring.
Yep. Which we consider that to be par.
That's par.
10.
Yep.
12 for
Caitlin,
she did call
shoot
up.
it. I spoke
Nice.
too soon. Puts her at a 405, so she gained a couple of points right there. Yeah, just so if you folks at home don't know, we shoot 40 targets on the weekend. If you shot 40 10s, you'd have 400 points. So when you see one with a 412, they've hit 12s, the bonus rings throughout the weekend. So we call that 12 up for Kaylee. She came in at 412. So even par would be 10s through 40 targets, 400 points, and we call it up or down. So 12 up would be a 412. 3 down would be a 397, which is what you see Sharon coming in at. So that's some of the math we talk about some of the lingo we talk about when we talk about these archery tournaments.
Now.
So I will say, we saw a look from the side of Katie Boardwell on target 1, and the same for target 5. There are trees blocking, partially blocking the targets. So it's a challenging shot. They don't have an open look at it. It's not covering the vitals that they're shooting at, but it is blocking their view of the whole animal.
There's Emily there. We just saw Aaron shoot a shot. Emily's holding so good. She's solid. Good, strong break. That arrow looks a little low.
That turkey. Yeah, there's Katie Boardwell. And again, if you can imagine from her perspective, it's a little bit left of there.
Oh, she went at the 14. Good for her. She came in 5th. She can't finish any worse than 5th, so she's trying to make her move. Bravo, Katie. She's shooting an Easton Pro Comp, a little arrow too.
Yeah.
Probably for some extra speed. Katie's not a real big gal, so smaller arrows, lighter arrows will get a little faster setup.
Her draw length is going to be like considerably shorter compared to Aaron McGladdery, who's taller and has longer arms.
But they have to be hit to be rewarded. A 10.
There's a good 10 for Kaylee. Moves her to 432 if my math is correct.
She just kind of needs to play the game and see what happens. Not be too risky. She said that's what she did today out on the course.
Yeah, the other ladies have to shoot some rings to catch her. If Kaylee keeps it in the 10 ring, these girls have to shoot at least 2 12s to catch her. But the 14 is in play. It doesn't take long to make big moves if they shoot at that 14.
8 for Emily McCarthy on that turkey, which is the shortest target, which is kind of surprising. She got the distance a little bit off there. Yeah, you can see the guys going down the hill.
10. That's a great score right there. We're going to see some probably less than 10s on that target before the day's over.
That's just disappointing. Our guys thought that would fool them.
Mike Tyrell lamenting that it's not fooling more archers, but they're happy with those 10s.
Sharon typically shoots at uppers, and that is really close to that lower 12. I don't know if she called it or not.
I don't see the cone out.
She did 12 it. She's usually an upper shooter, but she's going to take that to a 419 now. So she's within 1 point of Aaron in 3rd.
And we should mention, why is that a big deal? I mean, this isn't just for medals. There's some money on the line here.
Yeah, there's
some good money.
Thousands of dollars that these ladies are shooting for out there. The companies that they shoot for, the bow companies that sponsor them, if they get a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd place finish, they get contingency checks. So they're not just shooting for prize money for the tournament. They get sponsor contingency, arrows, vanes, releases, sights, bow companies. Everybody out here, all these sponsors pay these archers if they get on the podium. So it's a substantial amount of money that everyone's shooting for. There's a good look at Kaylee.
Leader.
Kaylee's from Dublin, Georgia. I want to give a shout out to Randy Dennis. Randy's known Kaylee since she was little bitty. Randy has fought some health issues, had a stroke. He's not able to compete with us anymore, but he's watching every broadcast. We text back and forth. So, hey, Randy, hope you're watching again. Hope you're doing well.
Absolutely. That is the Wolf, and that is Erin McGladdery.
Shoot,
She
that
is high on
upper,
that.
yeah. Erin likes to shoot those upper 12s.
So Sharon had a letdown, pushing. She's still got 23 seconds on the clock.
Sharon might try to 14 this target. I don't know the distance, but she's going to try to make a move here, I would say. She went for the 12.
Oh, that's close.
Shooting at another lower. She's changed her game plan. I'm interested to see why. Good look at Emily. Strong. Oh, she
there
hit
you
low.
go.
There
Yep.
we go. I said we'd see some less than 10s on that target. And moments later, there you are.
Bonus rings, but trailing by 13 points behind
That's
Kaylee
so
Johnson.
close.
Is. All right, Darren. We talk about it every time. Let's talk about pulling the line. We don't know if this one did or not, but
Pulling the line means these foams are these targets. The foam is pliable. It will stretch. It will bend when the arrow penetrates the target. It'll pull, but it has to touch the arrow. So you can distort the line, but if that line is not touching the arrow, you do not get the higher score. So it has to touch.
and that line is not necessarily defined like you would see on a typical bullseye target.
Yeah, and sometimes looking at it from this angle, it looks, oh, it could be out, oh, it could be in. And if you look down above or from below, you see a different view if it may have that radius broken. So
they're looking long and hard at this one.
The
so
camera views are just, that's a really close arrow.
10 for Sharon.
There it is, 10.
10 points,
Mike
wow.
Powell says.
10 for
So
Sharon,
close.
429, and I think Aaron shot an 8 over there, so Sharon will jump into third place after this arrow.
All
It's a
right.
good look at Katie. Oh, she went for that 14.
Good for
and
her.
she got it.
14.
That's awesome.
Good for her.
She's judging really good, and that's good to see.
Kaylin, you're actually above 10 points per target, but you might want to find a different way to do it this time. That's
424.
5-14. I'm looking forward to the next one, Hunt. All right.
So
Kaylee
she has a
Johnson
12, a
leader,
5, and a 14.
432, holding on to a 6-point lead now over Emily McCarthy. A solid 10 for her.
That was Kaylee with a 10.
42.
Yep.
4-4-2. Now Kaylee's going to be shooting that really long deer coming up here next.
This one definitely fooled Emily on the
Mhm.
distance.
That's going to move her to a 431. So second place is really up for grabs right now.
5 for Emily McCarthy.
So much about judging, Darren, is using the
Emily's not
target
happy,
to
but
see it.
at
If you
least
can't
smile.
see it all,
Yep.
that messes with your
It
depth
makes a big
perception.
difference. Yeah, because especially if these ladies or whoever's judging if they're ground judges, if they need to see the ground all the way to the feet of the target, you have no idea from that roadway to how far. It could be 3 yards, it could be 7 yards. So if you get 4 yards off, that's 4 inches at 40 yards. So that was an 8 for Aaron there, 428.
442.
All right, this is tight now.
It is.
431.
Other than Kaylee.
Kaylee's
She's
at
still
42.
holding her
Second place. Yeah, she's got an 11-point lead now over second place. So that's pretty substantial with 2 targets to go.
And we should mention, if no one is within 10 points of her for after the 5th arrow, then it's over.
It'll be over. That's correct.
Anyone who is within 10 points will go to a 6th arrow.
And I'm sure Kaylee would love to just call it good after 5 and not have to worry about anybody catching her.
Yes.
There's a good look at Kaylee. She's such a good archer. She's such a good yardage judger.
We'll start your 1 minute.
And she's a full-time nurse. She doesn't do this full-time.
I always love to call attention to that because if you know nurses, you know she's busy, so she's not spending all her time practicing.
Good, strong shot.
Oh, man, that's
Right
gonna be
there at
close to
that 10
10.
line. There's a good look at Aaron. Aaron works so hard at this game.
There's Paige Pierce holding the umbrella for her, one of the best in the world at various types of archery. She competes out here in a known distance division.
Emily must have let down. She's coming to full draw now. Watch the end of that stabilizer, how steady she holds.
23 seconds.
Barely moving. Such a good shooter.
Can't see the end of it, but I think that's over the 12.
She's been teaching her husband a lot of good things too. Her husband's Dan McCarthy. She's been working with him, gets him on the podium once in a while.
We will see Dan here in a little bit in the Open Pro. First up, let's see how Erin McGladdery, solid 10.
438 for Miss Aaron.
McGladdery moves her to 438. And now 7 bonus rings.
There's Aaron talking to Paige Pierce.
I got to shoot some practice arrows with Aaron this week, and
1 point
she's
ahead.
tough.
She is a good
And only
archer.
2 points behind. This is a solid 10 for Sharon. Moves her to 439.
Good 10 for Sharon there, 439. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Caitlin still
Yeah.
needs an 8 and a 10.
They've shot
Sharon
4
is,
now.
right now we have a program Shooter of the Year that Mike Tyrell talked about earlier,
Let's see
and
what
Sharon is the leader in this class, and she has a pretty substantial lead. I believe it was about 20 points.
Looky there, Caitlin Boardwell back-to-back 14s.
She's afraid of nothing.
She just jumped into a tie for third.
Interesting. Next
Is
up,
that right?
Kaylee Johnston.
Nope, 438.
See how
That's a
she
439.
does.
We need to see what Emily did.
Yeah, let's see what Emily did. If that's an 8, Katie and Sharon would be tied for third right now.
For Kaylee,
This is Kaylee, an 8.
An 8 for Kaylee.
sliver of hope for
450.
several ladies to get back within 10 points of her.
We'll have to do some math here, PJ, see
Yeah.
where we're at.
I believe.
And
Emily
last
shot
but
a
not least,
10
Emily
here.
McCarthy, currently at 431.
Yep. And so Sharon's going to be in third, but man, right behind them,
10
Aaron
for Emily.
McClattery and Katie Boardwell.
Aaron and Katie are tied for fourth now. So this is a big arrow here. Aaron's going to, I believe, she's going to shoot the hyena. Is that target number 2? Yep, Sharon's
yes.
going to go to the turkey.
10 bonus rings.
And
In third now is Cheryl Wallace at
oh,
439
Katie
and
Boardwell's
10
on the
bonus
long one.
rings.
Mhm.
She's
We have
on
a
that
tie now
deer.
for fourth place between Caitlin and Aaron.
This
at
is interesting.
438.
This
With
got, I
Caitlin
mean, we
holding
were looking at the
Katie
beginning
Boardwell
how
with
tight it
7
was, but this
bonus
is, or how open it was. It's a tight race
Yeah,
now, other
barring-
than first place.
Barring a disaster for Kaylee on the Wolf, which is not too bad. She's in a really good position to win this. But second and third are still wide
All
open.
right. We'll start your 1 minute.
But this
now.
is the last arrow. If no one's
Yeah.
within 10 of Kaylee, we won't shoot a final arrow. And right now, Emily is the only one. Kaylee called upper, I believe, and hit a low 10. There's a good look at Katie. She's shooting this long deer with
She needs something on this one.
coming off back-to-back 14s.
Long hold there.
Good strong shot.
Oh, man.
She may have 12 that.
Are you kidding me?
I
That's
think
her brother.
She did. Her brother Glenn
Brother
says,
Glenn
yeah.
is with her.
Now Sharon's heard the excitement. She may change her big deep breath.
Wow.
Sharon's on this turkey, so she may try to 14 this thing.
Bonus ring on the longest target. Are you kidding me?
So Katie would make the final arrow if that's a 12.
Wait, that's in the 14. The deer.
Oh my gosh, I thought she just shot up to 12.
So did I. That's up in
All
the.
right. The famous buzzer beater.
And did Sharon 14 the turkey?
I think she did.
I didn't think this shoot-off was going to be that exciting, but it's turned out to be pretty good. There's a good look at Kaylee down that wolf. So she's got a 10 for sure there on that wolf. So let's do some math here, see where we're at.
Emily's up first. That's a 10 for her. All right.
Moves her to 451.
451.
451.
Next, Aaron McGlattery.
Aaron
currently at
McGlattery
438.
shooting the hyena.
Aaron needs a bonus ring here to move on. She's a 10. 448.
Yeah.
Moves her to 448.
448.
So she will not make the final arrow.
Needs at least a 12 here.
I'll bet you Sharon was aiming at a 12 and shifted off.
And when the crowd started making noise for Caitlin's arrow, she changed her play.
Whoa, snowed out.
Smoked it.
Yes.
Wow.
That's a 453 if my math is correct.
Wow.
That's a big
That
arrow.
will never hurt your card. For Caitlin Boardwell.
If Katie hits this one, this would be 3 14s in a row.
Jeez.
And came into the shoot down in fifth.
In fifth.
Shot a 12, a 5, and then 3 14s in a row. What's she got?
14 for Caitlin.
Come on. Oh,
Good
that's
grief.
inside out.
That's
Are
awesome.
you kidding me?
4
Just
5
completed
2.
the pro shoot down without scoring a single 10. She had a
So
12,
with Emily
3
shooting the 10,
14s,
she'd
and
still
a
moved
5.
into third place.
Yep. So
Wow.
So Erin came in third, and she's going to go into fifth and not make the final arrow, I believe, if my math is correct. It's a 10 for Kaylee, 460. So anyone within 10, anyone 450 or better will shoot the final arrow.
That's everybody except Erin McLeod.
Erin's going to end up in fifth.
453 and 11 bonus rings. In third place is Caitlin Bordwell at 452.
Wow. I don't really know what to say. That was...
is Emily McCarthy, who will also be in the shootdown at 451 and 10 bonus rings. And Erin McGladdery, thank you very much. At 448 and 7. She will not be in the arrow, but let's give them all a round of applause. Congratulations.
Man.
All right.
I mean, we want to give recognition to Kaylee Johnson. She did what she needed to do to hold on her lead, and she's got a nice 7-point lead over Sharon Wallace. But the folks behind her did what they needed to do to put the pressure on.
Yeah, Kaylee's in a good position here. We can do some math. If anyone behind her shoots, so second place is Sharon Wallace. She shoots a 14. That puts her at a 467. Kaylee would just need to shoot an 8 to win this tournament. That's a really good position to be in right here.
Yeah.
So they are bringing out a new target. It looks like they're getting ready to set up a leopard, as you can see right there. Scott's going to find him a new distance.
Scott Parrott is setting our distance. He's got a rangefinder, so he knows how far it is. And he did move them up in front of the shooting line. So this is about even with the hyena, whatever distance that was. And it's about 2 or 3 steps, 3 or 4 steps in front of the shooting line. So they're going to have a pretty good idea how far this is.
So this is a race for second and third right here. That distance is not going to be hard for Kaylee to get an 8 on. It's really not. But for these girls to decide who gets second and third, shoot at the 12, shoot at the 14. And Emily's going to get a shoot first here. She's at the 451, so she'll get the first arrow. Then it'll be Caitlin Bordwell. Sharon's going to know what she has to do. And then, like we said before, even if these girls shoot 14s, Kaylee's going to need an 8 to win this tournament.
How many times have we seen Sharon Wallace? Well, just in the last tournament, she got beaten by one where she, she got fooled on an extra bonus ring. But we've seen her do things like that last shot where she had to shoot a 14 and hit it.
Yeah. I mean, I want to brag on Katie Bordwell.
How about it? That's what I was saying.
Katie's a great archer. Don't get me wrong, but Katie, to me, I don't know her as a yardage judger. You know, I don't consider her like, okay, she's an unknown 3D shooter. I wouldn't give her that title.
Right.
For her to step out there and do what she did, pretty darn good shooting.
Absolutely. She did spend, so there was a time when she came out and she actually shot known pro, which is all men currently. It is an open class. Anybody can be in it, but there were no women in it. She came out and tried it, tested the waters.
And we'll see the known pros later. Known pro means they're using a rangefinder. They will know the distance to these. They click it with a rangefinder. They set their sight for exactly what the distance is. Yeah. Katie competed with those guys for a while, so she's played in all avenues or, experimented with everything out here. But for her to hit a 12, shoot at a 14, got a 5, no big deal. But then finish with 3 in a row, and especially that longest deer.
Unbelievable.
I'm good for her.
Yeah.
Crazy
Emily
good.
up first.
Yeah.
And you can see that 10 ring glowing, folks, so they have a good eyesight on these scoring rings.
I think Emily tries to shoot a 12 here. I don't know what she's going to do. I think a 12 is a play, but she might, with the references, she might shoot the 14.
She probably she let down there. We think
she's that target's in the bright. You can see her pushing a button on her sight. She has a light on the sight that lights her pin up, and when she pulled her pin up there, that target is killing her pin. She couldn't see the fiber in it, so she's blowing her pin up brighter so she can see where she's aiming.
She got 20 seconds on the clock.
I think you almost have to try to 14 this target.
So steady, even with all the pressure.
She's good.
Just under it.
Yep, she shot low right at the 14, so she's going to get an 8. That'll put her at 459.
All right, for Emily.
Good shot.
If this one turned out this good, these next 3 are going to be awesome.
I mean, here comes Katie Boardwell, and I mean, second place is on the table.
So if she shoots an 8, she goes to 460. She's on the podium.
Right.
So I think she 14s this thing. I think you try to get second away from Sharon here. Maybe shoot it for your lowest number, aim solid at the 14, and if you do miss it, you miss in the 8 ring, so you at least get on the podium.
All right.
Because the podium comes with extra bonus checks.
Yeah.
If she shoots a 5 here, she goes to 457, and Emily would finish in third. So she needs an 8 or better to get a podium right here.
Now.
As hot as she's been, why not?
That's her brother Glenn there holding the umbrella.
She went for she got a 10.
Yeah. I think that's in the 10.
Okay, so she's at 62, so she's going to at least get third. 462.
All right, Caitlin.
Hey, and why not?
Yeah.
Oh man, I think she might have just missed it. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
she got
just
an 8.
out.
Single 10 on her card, but a great shootout.
Okay, 460. So she still gets
third.
She still
Yep.
gets third. Yeah, she still gets third.
Good for her. Hey, come in fifth. Like, it looked like with no chance.
Yes.
And to shoot your way to the podium
Is really
that's
good.
impressive.
And same scenario for Sharon here. If she shoots an 8, she's a 61. She still gets second place. If she shoots a 14, puts her at 67. Kaylee just needs an 8 to win, which I don't think that's not a challenging shot for Kaylee at this distance. I don't know what it is, but it's not too far.
Right. And Sharon was getting instructions, doing the math in her head. Mike Tyrell was explaining to her the scoring options.
I think she bears down here and tries to shoot a 12. If she ends up shooting an 8, she still takes second. That's really the best you can ask for right now. I don't think she called up her, so I think she'll shoot. I think she'll shoot hard at this lower 12 here. And as good as she is, she's liable to hit it.
Boy, it got dead quiet here. Oh, she went, or it hit high, but she did not call upper.
All right.
That's a 10.
It's a 10, so she's going to do a 63.
How much more magic she has in that bow tonight.
And so Kaylee Johnston now, all she needs to do is hit foam.
Yeah, she needs 5 points. She needs 4 points to win, but there's not a 4 ring out there, so anything in this animal, if she hits it, she'll be your champion.
Again, Darren, kudos to Sharon and Katie, who are both 4th and 5th. Now they come in and knock
Second
the others
and
off
third,
in their second and third.
Emily was in second. She's going to drop down to 4th. Erin, I know how hard Erin's working right now. She's shooting really good, so she came in third, and she's going to finish in 5th. And that's why we shoot all 5 or 6 of these arrows, because you just never know.
The crowd is egging her on for a 14. They want a 14. Doesn't matter. All she has to do is hit foam.
Yeah, all she has to do is hit it. If it's me, I put my pin in the middle of that core.
I was going to say, Kaylee's not a showboat, so she might not. She's not Tim Gillingham.
She's going to
here.
cash some checks, but she's got to hit it. There you
she
go.
goes.
Middle of the core.
Take it.
Great shot, Kaylee. Good weekend. Solid weekend for Kate.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry for Kaylee. I started to say Katie.
Yep.
Solid weekend for Katie too, but congrats on to your winner there.
There it is. It's official. That's going to be Kaylee Johnston's first win of this season. And Kaylee is going to make her way over to the winner's circle, and we're going to have a word with her. Kaylee's just about there, the shooting area. Okay, so we're waiting for our camera to shift around there to get Kaylee Johnston in front of our interview area. She's got to get the headset on. What a finish.
It's fantastic shooting right there.
That is, as we said, and that's the one I was not expecting to be too interesting.
We had 19 points separating 1st and 5th right there, and it was like back and forth, up and down, like, wow.
All right, Kaylee Johnston, there she is. Kaylee, hey, you did what you needed to do. Tell us how that feels to get your first win of the season.
Man, it feels really good after going all year without winning a tournament, and then this year, a bunch of seconds and thirds, and every shoot down. It just finally feels good to win one.
Kaylee, I know to be a good archer out here, you have to have some consistency, and you're always in the mix. What do you contribute that consistency to? Because you work full-time. You're not a full-time archer, but you're always in the mix. Why are you always in the mix?
I just try the hardest that I can. I'm very dedicated. I love this sport, and I'm going to give it my all.
Congratulations on a great weekend.
Congrats,
you.
Kaylee.
Thank you. And I just want to say thank you to everybody, even my work family, for letting me come out here and do this. Working full time and traveling isn't easy, but I appreciate everything they do to allow me to do that.
Great job.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Kaylee Johnston, great win there. Shout out to her coworkers. They know what it's like. All right, folks, here at Fort Massac, we are just a few minutes away from Senior Pro. Don't go anywhere.